kind of like that's my personality. And I feel the older you get too, and the more confident you become just in your own skin.
The entire city of Nashville was captivated as word of a possible split between country music icons Tim McGraw and Faith Hill spread rapidly. At 57, Tim McGraw was not only under immense professional pressure, but was also facing the daunting prospect of losing everything due to a previously undisclosed incident. And we've had several surgeries, double knee replacement. I'm ready. I'm ready to get back and see how it goes, and see how I'm moving around. Behind the facade of a perfect family lay a web of secrets, disputes, and choices that threatened to change their lives forever. What really happened that pushed their once unbreakable marriage to the brink? Just forgiven, not perfect. Just forgiven. Yeah, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill's story began at the New Faces show in Nashville in February 1994, a time when both were in other relationships. 95, we played at Eau Claire, Wisconsin at a festival together. I was noticing her watching the show off the side of the stage 'cause you were. Of course, I was. This encounter marked the start of a journey that would redefine the lives of two of country music's biggest stars. Both Tim and Faith were rising talents in Nashville, and nobody could have foreseen that within just 2 years they would become one of the most influential couples in American music. The pivotal moment arrived in April 1996 when Faith Hill accepted the role of opening act for Tim McGraw's Spontaneous Combustion Tour. As they traveled from one stage to the next, their professional collaboration quickly evolved into a profound personal connection. Amid the demanding tour schedule and constant media attention, their feelings for each other grew stronger. I actually asked her to marry me quite a few times, like she kept saying no. She said, "I'm not going to get involved with another country singer. It's just not going to work out." Tim McGraw later recalled proposing to Faith Hill on several occasions, only to be rejected until the summer of 1996, when a simple moment changed everything. She's standing there, and we're talking, and I said, "Look, let's get married." And she says, "You're asking me to marry you at a country music festival in a trailer house." In a trailer at a music festival in Colorado, Faith Hill used lipstick to write her answer on a mirror, and went back into my dressing room, and Faith wasn't there. But I looked at the mirror in lipstick. It said, "Yes, I'm going to be your wife." They chose to get married quickly and privately. We got married in my aunt's backyard in Ravel, Louisiana. She was barefoot, and we were under an old locust tree. Yeah, it was awesome. They invited around 60 close friends and family members to Rayville, Louisiana, on October 6, 1996, under the pretense of a casual softball game. It was only after the ceremony that guests realized they had witnessed one of Nashville's most confidential and iconic weddings. News of their secret wedding, along with Faith Hill's simple white dress, sparked a frenzy among fans. The American press immediately crowned them country music's new power couple, celebrating their blend of individuality and genuine connection. From the moment Tim McGraw and Faith Hill began making public appearances together, every interaction on stage became a media event. According to People and U.S. Magazine at the time, Tim and Faith dominated headlines within their first year, becoming new symbols of the blend of artistry and family values in Nashville. Years later, Tim McGraw still expressed deep emotion when reminiscing about those early days. He once shared, "From the first moment I saw Faith, I knew I was captivated." Faith Hill herself admitted on live television, "I thought I'd never get involved with another country singer, but everything happened beyond what I expected." The two not only shared a musical harmony, but also had the same vision for marriage and family commitment. From the start, Tim and Faith agreed that once they were married, neither would walk away easily, regardless of the challenges they faced. Their influence went beyond the country music scene. In 1997 alone, "It's Your Love" became a #1 Billboard hit, winning numerous awards and solidifying their status as cultural icons. Statistics revealed that the media attention commanded by Tim McGraw and Faith Hill during this period was unparalleled. Hundreds of articles, public events, and primetime television features showcased the couple. Over time, they were seen not just as performers, but as representatives of a generation willing to live authentically, love fiercely, and break free from the traditional molds of the entertainment industry. These early years set the stage for everything that followed. However, behind the fairy tale romance and bright lights, the pressures of success and public expectations quietly took hold, foreshadowing the difficult journey Tim McGraw and Faith Hill would have to endure. This shift marked the start of the storms to come, as fame inevitably brought a burden they couldn't escape when success demanded a heavy price. After their surprising secret wedding, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill quickly reached the pinnacle of their careers, becoming one of the most powerful couples in American country music. From 1996 to 2010, they were a fixture at virtually every major music event, and it was rare to see a chart without either Tim or Faith at the top. Tim McGraw made his mark with albums like Everywhere and A Place in the Sun, along with a series of Billboard-topping hits. During this time, he sold over 50 million albums worldwide, cementing his place among the most successful country artists ever. Faith Hill was equally successful with a string of impressive accomplishments. Her 1999 album Breathe sold more than 8 million copies, earned her a prestigious Grammy Award, and catapulted her to international stardom. Their joint tours, such as Soul to Soul in 2000 and Soul to Soul 2 in 2006, not only caused a ticket-buying frenzy, but also broke revenue records for the genre. Soul to Soul 2 grossed over $141 million, making Tim McGraw and Faith Hill the most profitable touring duo in country music history. Alongside their long list of awards, the data on Billboard chart toppers, album sales, audience numbers, and critical acclaim proved that Tim McGraw and Faith Hill had redefined what it meant to be a power couple in American music. In an interview with Men's Health, Tim McGraw openly spoke about that period. "We threw ourselves into work, completely, always had to maintain a public image, and tried to keep everything from slipping out of control." Faith Hill, speaking on the Today Show, admitted, "That family has always been the first priority, but keeping a balance between children, career, and the spotlight has never been easy." Fame also meant that the private lives of the McGraw-Hill family became a constant topic, not just for fans, but for the global entertainment media. Each time Tim McGraw or Faith Hill attended events separately, the press aggressively questioned the state of their marriage and the stability of their home life. Their 3 daughters, Gracie, Maggie, and Audrey, grew up in the spotlight, heavily protected from paparazzi, but unable to avoid the pressures that came with their parents' fame. The demanding schedule and heavy workload took a toll on Tim McGraw and Faith Hill's personal lives. In the early years, Faith Hill made the significant choice to put her music career on hold from 2006 to 2017, dedicating herself entirely to raising their children. Meanwhile, Tim McGraw continued to push forward, performing dozens of tours annually, which created considerable challenges for maintaining balance and stability at home. The pressure of success, fan expectations, and media scrutiny gradually created a quiet divide within what had seemed like a perfect family. Tim McGraw confessed to Men's Health that those peak years were also when he was most vulnerable to unhealthy habits, seeking temporary escape for his state of mind. The overwhelming fame, constant public attention, and fear of not meeting every expectation forced him to confront himself in some of his most difficult moments. Faith Hill also confided that being a mother is the greatest role, but it is also the hardest when everything is exposed under the glare of fame. Even as they continued to be admired and accumulate awards, tension began to show within the McGraw family. All of these factors painted a complex picture of a family of artists where glory always came with hidden struggles. As the spotlight grew brighter, so did the pressure quietly build. This would set the stage for the major crises that were about to erupt, where the storm would truly spiral beyond Tim McGraw and Faith Hill's control. The silent cracks behind the scenes. As the new decade started, the signs of instability within Tim McGraw and Faith Hill's family became increasingly hard to hide from the media's constant scrutiny. Even their smallest actions became headline news and social media topics. The pressure peaked when Tim McGraw began attending events like the CMA Awards alone, while Faith Hill paused her music projects and reduced her media appearances. The public interpreted these actions as undeniable evidence that their marriage was on the verge of collapse. The press fueled the narrative by highlighting how their daughters were growing up and leaving home, turning every subtle change into family drama. Rumors of a third-party midlife crisis and conflicts over their demanding schedules began to flood social media, creating a cloud of suspicion over a family once seen as the ultimate ideal. At the same time, every time Tim McGraw and Faith Hill appeared together in public, they intentionally put an end to the rumors with warm gestures and a united front. They not only performed songs like Meanwhile Back at Mama's at the CMA Awards, but also worked together on joint artistic projects. Most notably, the series 1883 in 2021. These moments became their strongest response to every whisper. Serving as a conscious effort to maintain the image of a strong family amid the media storm. Even so, the constant waves of rumors and the ever-growing scrutiny meant each family member had to live in a prolonged state of defense. Faith Hill often spoke of her sense of emptiness as their daughters slowly left the nest, while Tim McGraw faced the heavy burden of sustaining his career while fending off the endless stream of negative stories surrounding them. Every personal decision, every private moment risked being exaggerated into proof of a breakup that was never confirmed. As the rumors intensified, the atmosphere within the McGraw-Hill household shifted into a state of ongoing tension, laying the groundwork for genuine crises behind the scenes. From this point forward, the story began to shift toward deeply personal challenges and critical decisions where every choice had the potential to change the fate of the entire family. The destined turning points. The media storm was only the tip of the iceberg of a turbulent chapter Tim McGraw and Faith Hill had to face within their own home. Unlike the early years spent in the spotlight, every challenge now came from within prolonged family tension, public scrutiny, and personal crises that could no longer be hidden. Tim McGraw repeatedly stressed that without Faith Hill, he might not have been able to overcome it all. Change began in 2008 when Tim made the conscious decision to abandon all unhealthy habits, dedicate himself to daily gym sessions, adopt a clean diet, and cut down his performance schedule. He reduced his shows to just 20 per year, prioritized time with his family, and even postponed the release of a new album. This transformation had a clear impact on his career. Album sales declined, tours were postponed or canceled, while Tim spent most of his time focusing on recovery and writing motivational books about personal resilience. This process was far from easy. Faith Hill was not only his anchor, but also Tim's greatest source of encouragement. She once told people, "We had to lean on each other, forgive, and be patient to hold our family together." Their daughters also played a crucial role, with one of them once asking Dad, "Do you need help?" A question that became a powerful motivator for Tim to rebuild himself. Major moments, such as their duet at the CMA Awards, sharing the stage with Gracie, or supporting Audrey during her European tour, became lasting testaments to the unity that held this family together. The recovery phase was not just Tim McGraw's personal battle. It was a test of the family's collective strength. Faith Hill admitted there were nights when she questioned whether their sacrifices were worth it. whether what they were trying to preserve still deserved to be saved. Over time, Tim's transformation, Faith's patience, and their daughter's presence helped the family navigate its darkest period. By 2010, the signs of renewal were clear. Tim McGraw re-emerged healthier and more optimistic, and while his album Southern Voice did not achieve the sales initially expected, it marked his rebirth. Faith Hill, after years of stepping back, also began reappearing in music projects, public events, and inspiring millions by sharing a candid story of marriage, family, and perseverance. The sight of the entire family at major events, concerts, award shows, and even everyday outings garnered tens of thousands of positive reactions on social media. The media's perspective gradually shifted as analyses and people. The LA Times and The List began highlighting Tim McGraw and Faith Hill's comeback as a true symbol of resilience and renewal after hardship. They were no longer portrayed as the flawless model family, but rather as authentic figures who had endured, stumbled, and chosen not to give up. Viral articles drawing tens of thousands of likes and positive comments on social media further reflected the public's readiness to embrace a real-life family model of imperfect steadfastness. As the family held hands and weathered the storm, the true value of the McGraw-Hill household no longer rested on fame, but on their capacity to recover, forgive, and stand together through their darkest times. This became the foundation for a new chapter, where every rumor would give way to truth, and their true worth would be made undeniable to the world. Rising above every prejudice. After all the storms and crises, Tim McGraw and Faith Hill did not just make a comeback, but established themselves as a new symbol of resilience, rising above every prejudice in the entertainment world. Their recovery was recognized not only through artistic achievements, but also through the unity, trust, and family values the two had devotedly built. Major events like CMA Fest 2025 saw Tim McGraw and Faith Hill walking the stage side by side, captivating millions of viewers worldwide. At the same time, the image of the entire family appearing across Europe to support Audrey during her first tour spread widely on social media, with every moment receiving tens of thousands of likes and positive comments. The rumors that once consumed public attention were replaced by strong statements from the couple themselves. Tim McGraw declared on a podcast that Faith Hill had saved his life and the thought of divorce had never existed within their family. Faith Hill emphasized on the Today Show that forgiveness, commitment, and loyalty were the foundations that carried them through everything. No longer avoiding questions, both Tim and Faith openly acknowledged every challenge, treating them as valuable experiences that made their family stronger after the turmoil. Tim McGraw's success after the crisis was reflected not only in his music, but also in his powerful emotional comeback. His new album released earned positive feedback. His concerts sold out, and Faith Hill returned to acting while taking part in inspirational projects. Their daughters, Gracie, Maggie, and Audrey, continued to bring pride to the family, each forging her own path. Gracie pursued music actively. Maggie dedicated herself to public health, and Audrey made her mark with an indie album and a tour alongside Brandi Carlile Laley. Mainstream media also returned to celebrating the McGraw-Hill family. Articles in People, the LA Times, and The List consistently praised their ability to endure hardships and the positive influence their story had on the public. Topics such as lasting marriage, the power of forgiveness, and unwavering commitment flooded social media, drawing thousands of comments and tens of thousands of interactions whenever new images of Tim, Faith, and their daughters were shared. Media analyses highlighted that their honesty, willingness to face reality, and openness about their darkest chapters had allowed the McGraw family to redefine the image of entertainers in American showbiz. Not perfect, not evasive, but determined to hold on to what truly matters. What made this journey of renewal exceptional was their ability to transform every wound, mistake, and storm into the foundation of a resilient family. Tim McGraw stressed, "We decided not to walk away when things got tough. Family is the only place worth sacrificing for." Faith Hill affirmed, "Family is the anchor, the true value that helps each of us endure and move through every storm." These words were not empty slogans, but were proven through their actions. Through years of unwavering support and togetherness across nearly 3 decades. The story of Tim McGraw and Faith Hill today is no longer the narrative of a perfect media family, but the journey of real people who once faltered, once stood on the edge of collapse, but chose to rise, rebuild, and inspire millions. Looking back, the greatest legacy they have left is not just music success or fame, but the strength of unity and the belief in overcoming all prejudices as a modern family. This is also why their story continues to resonate, not only as trending news but as a vivid message of perseverance and resilience in real life. The journey of Tim McGraw and Faith Hill is living proof of the power of love, perseverance, and family trust, regardless of public judgment or challenges. If you believe in the value of forgiveness, sacrifice, and enduring strength in the face of adversity, share your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you will not miss the next inspiring stories about love, resilience, and the journeys that transcend every limit in life.